Clubhouse. She has just been blowing it up on Clubhouse. So I'm really excited to really pick her brain and find out what's going on. So I'm going to take the stop share off and let's just see here. Let's put us back on front.
Let me see if it's maybe in my headphones. I can't hear much.
All right. So here we are.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you. So again, just like everybody else on the planet, we are pushing the internet to the max, and we are pushing all these wonderful tools like StreamYard and Zoom. Everything else, I think, is just being overtaxed because everybody's using it. But if you're watching us live, because we are using Streamline or StreamYard, you just have to click a button to let StreamYard publish your comments. All right. So we've got Marlene with us. So yay, Marlene, I'm glad you're able to join us live. So today it's all about Clubhouse. And I have to tell you, I just jumped in a couple of weeks ago. I was a little nervous, I guess, because I love knowledge. I love learning. But I thought, is this going to be a huge rabbit hole that I go down and never come back out? So I have been kind of popping in and out of the rooms and listening a little bit, but I haven't been really using it. But Talisha, you are just on fire. You haven't been on it very long, and it's just been taking. So what I want to do is just basically turn the stage over to you and have you just talk to us about your experience, how you're using it. I know you're hosting a room, I think. So tell us everything. I want to pick your brains. I want to learn everything. And also just to learn how you've grown such a huge following so quickly. So the floor is yours. Tell us.
Oh, thank you so much, Debbie, for having me. I'm so excited to share this news with your community. I know that we've built a wonderful relationship over the last couple months. So it's really a pleasure to be on your platform and talk about the elephant in the room, which is Clubhouse. Everybody wants to know what's going on this app right now. And you're absolutely right. I haven't been on the app I've only been on there since maybe the last week of December. So it's really, really explosive because of the quality of the app and how, when you get on anything on the ground room floor, you kind of have the potential to explode. But one of the things I did as far as going in this app, so it is an audio app, and the first thing is I just love to talk. So that's number one. If you don't like to talk, this probably isn't going to work for you, right? So, so it is an audio app. It's voice only. The beauty of the app is that it's kind of like if you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out. So there's no recording capabilities. You can't replay anything. Like, this live stream is going on, but for those who missed it, they'll be able to come in and watch it again. You can't hear the conversations again in Clubhouse. So although I love to say, man, I grew my following in less than a month to like 1.5K in there. It really doesn't matter. I want to say that just to make sure that it's totally clear, because the way the app is curated, it's about your experience. So it's more important the people that you follow than it is on how many followers you have in that app. Obviously, you just want to follow people who are going to lead you down the path of righteousness, give you that great information.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just jump in for a quick second. So I just want to reiterate that. It's not so much like on Instagram where we're trying to collect all these followers. But if you do get followers, it just means that people are interested, especially if you've had the opportunity to have a voice, right? So if you're speaking on somebody's stage or if you're hosting, if people follow you, then they'll be able to come to your events, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, so basically, if people are following you, they get to see what you see.
Okay.
So if people are following you, they get to be in the rooms that you're in. And so a lot of my growth has come from the fact that I am hosting that room 3 times a week, but I also sit in on rooms and get followers as well. So I
Okay.
mean, um the hosting of the room really did elevate my status in Clubhouse for sure. No doubt about it. I wouldn't have the following that I have if I didn't host that room. But I also sit in on a couple of rooms, and I have moderated a few other rooms. But I think when we think about growing presence on Clubhouse, it's just participating, being a participant in doing and participating in the activities that happen on the app, and um getting on stage. So in your rooms, there's 3 levels. So you have the ability to be on the stage platform. You are in the followed, they're following the people on stage box, which is like your front row audience seats, and then everyone else in the audience. So the idea, I mean, if you're using this app as a strategic move for your business, you want to either be on the stage or in the speaker box of following. So you want the speakers to follow you
Okay.
in that essence, so that you become a front row seater
Okay.
and get seen.
Okay.
So
That
you
makes
want,
sense.
so you want to get into that level. You want to be on the 2 stages. Either you are speaking or you are followed by the speaker,
Okay.
if your strategy is to get seen.
Okay. So let me jump in with another question. So for newbies, and I know that this is how I felt when I first started using it, they don't have to worry that they're going to be called on, like the teacher, thinks you're falling asleep and calls on you to wake you up. We don't have to worry about that in Clubhouse, right? So if we're new and we're just dropping in these different rooms to listen, we can just sit there and listen, and then we can leave quietly if we want. Is that correct? Is that the best way of describing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's crazy though, because if you have a following like how I've obtained in there, you are going to get picked on.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in a way, because if you're new, yeah, nobody's going to offer you to be on stage unless you ask for those opportunities.
Gotcha.
But the opportunity can happen just like mine, where I really just raised my hand in a room and gave something of value. And because I had a connection with her outside of Clubhouse, she needed something, and I offered to stay in the room to keep it open longer so that we can just have the conversation continue. So my opportunity came from me raising my hand.
Okay.
Um, so it's really about, and I tell people this all the time, you got to figure out why you're on the app to begin with. What is your end game goal on this app? Because if you're not looking to be a speaker in the app, don't participate in a way that people are going to call on you to speak. But if
Gotcha.
you're looking for speaking opportunities and you want to share your message or what it is that you want to do, you want to participate so that you can get those opportunities. You want to raise your hand in these rooms. You want to follow people. I know for you, you're all about funnels and systems. So you want to get into those funnel systems rooms and raise your hand and drop some great value, so that the majority of the people in the room are like, damn, Debbie gave me some really good gems. I want to follow her because she knows what she's talking about. And that's how you could build your following
Gotcha.
in there.
So I have heard one person say that to use Clubhouse strategically, you want to, just like what you're saying, you want to kind of develop the end game. You want to have a strategy, but you want to be a contributor and not just absorbing. And of course, some people, maybe they're brand new to business and there's so much to learn. They might be using the app just to learn and to kind of start networking. But what I'm hearing you say is if you want to use it as a platform to help promote your business, just like any place else, have something of value, high value that you can offer. And if you go into these rooms, if you're a newbie, nobody knows you, and there's a discussion and you have something to add of value, you raise your hand. And if you get called on, then people start taking note. Is that the best way of describing it?
Yeah, I mean, so what you're saying is absolutely true. So, but the value is high in here. So if you are not a valuable player, you are not going to get the invitations to come back and speak on other people's platforms and really have those opportunities. So um actually it's so funny that we're having this conversation because I am doing a room with someone I met in Clubhouse, and we're going to be doing a room on Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, really helping people navigate how to become that valuable asset on Clubhouse.
Oh,
How you
awesome.
know, so and teaching you some fundamentals about when you do go up on stage, how can you become that valuable asset in your short opportunity? Because there's opportunity everywhere, and the beautiful part about Clubhouse is just you just never know who's going to be in your room.
Yes.
So I've been in rooms with some real heavy hitters, within the first couple weeks. And I've also been on stage with a couple heavy hitters in business in the first couple weeks. So you just never know who's going to be in your room. For instance, I have got a connection and with the style chief of the Vogue magazine, right?
Wow.
So really, just really interesting. Like, okay, we don't really have anything in common in that realm, but again, the connection is valuable. So you just never know who's going to be in your room.
Yes, I want to take just a tiny little deviation here. This, but I'm going to tell the audience. I teach at a university, and the course that I'm teaching is called personal branding for these students. Basically, how to elevate themselves to get them in front of other people. The whole course is about networking and having something of value to provide to others so that they can see what that is. And so Clubhouse, I just love this because even if you're new in business, it's a great playground. It's a great place to practice, right? And like you said, the pressure's off in the sense that, it's not being recorded, but what's there today, it's gone tomorrow. So you have to be willing to spend a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
To hop in and out of these rooms.
Yeah. You kind of, and because there's so many people, and just think about this, it's not even open to the public yet. So you have to be an iPhone user or have an iPad in order to even get on the app. You have to be invited by someone to come in. You can't just like download it. You can and get on the wait list, but it's really about who you know in this app. That's one thing that's really important. Just who do you know in there? And the other thing is there's just a lot of rooms because right now everybody's like on high. We're all like sucking in this Clubhouse air, really. And we're just getting high on Clubhouse. And everybody wants to open up rooms. So there's like a million different rooms going on all the time. So you really have to go in with the strategy. I would say like that's number one. If you don't feel like this app is going to benefit you in whatever way, that could be the knowledge pool or leveraging your product or service, you have to figure out what side of the coin you want to play on before you start dipping in.
Yes. An analogy that I was thinking of, because some people have asked me, well, what is this Clubhouse? How does it work? When I used to be in the corporate world and I would go to these, not even a seminar, but like a conference that was like 3 days long. And you would have your main stage speakers and you would have your main events. And then you would have all these auxiliary rooms and you didn't have to sign up for them. You would just go. But the first thing that I would do when I signed up for one of these conferences, they always publish kind of like an agenda. And on Monday, I could see all the speakers. I could see all of the different topics. And so I would kind of strategically decide, because I couldn't be every place, right? So I would decide which speakers or which topics I was interested in. And then I would slide in and I would sit there and I would listen. And then based on, okay, I'm getting value or I'm not, or maybe I'm trying to go to two at the same time, then I would leave and go to another room. And then in between all of that, you have all these networking opportunities. And back in the day, when we still just had business cards, you're handing out business cards and you're making those connections. So would you say that that's a good analogy for Clubhouse, except it's all audio and virtual?
Yeah, I think with the order and process of which we do traditional networking is valuable. Just understanding how to network in general, like the order of it, what you said. We go to the conference, we sit in the audience, we take notes, and then after the session we get to network a little bit. But on Clubhouse, it's really the networking is the session. So
Yeah.
so some rooms, and it really depends, because right now, we're, like I said, we're in this phase of Clubhouse where everybody's just on a high. We're all trying to figure out, how can we capitalize on this app? How can we push our businesses in this app? How can we make more networking connections in this app? How can we? So we have just a lot of questions on the how right now. So we're seeing a lot of people develop their own how strategy, right? So some rooms you go into and they're open forum where everybody's on stage and we just have a flowing conversation. Other rooms are one for one. Ask a question, get an answer, get down, right? Other
Mm-hmm.
rooms are really just Q&A, where the moderators are the speakers, and then if they do like polls. So, okay, do you guys want to hear more about marketing strategies, or do you want to hear more about TikTok? Raise your hand and let me know, and then we'll focus the room on that. But you don't ever get an opportunity to speak. You're just listening, because it's like a seminar.
Yeah.
But and then we have rooms in there that are really just, casual conversational rooms where it's just about life as a business owner, and let's talk about it with other people. So the play is in your hand in this particular situation, because all type of networking situations live in this app, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So it's
Yeah.
not just a business networking platform, nor is it a personal networking platform. You have the opportunity to do business in the day and be personal at night. Like, it really depends on what you want out of the app, on how you're going to get what you need out of it. So you really are curating your own experience from the
Yeah.
time you get in. But
That, go ahead.
but one thing I love to caution everybody is, don't get caught in the clouds in Clubhouse, because it's easy to get sucked in with no direction. And then you wind up following a bunch of people, because you go in with your Instagram and Facebook mind, thinking that, man, I got to follow people so I can get more followers. And you're just going to ruin your own experience. So just be cautious. Like, you following people curates your experience in the app. People might hear you and love what you are saying and want to hear more of it. So don't get caught up in the following game, because I have like 1.2 million followers or whatever. I don't even know what number that is, thousand. Okay. And I'm only following maybe 300 people. But again, one reason why that is because I'm not spending my whole day, night, and afternoon on that app. I'm only on there now in that 2 hour window that I have to do this thing, and I get off, right?
Yeah.
Because I have so many followers right now, when I am on the app, people are requesting me to speak. So I really have to be strategic on when I can go on, because I don't want to get caught up in a room and having to speak, and then I can't do it because I have work, right? I have
Right.
something I have to do. So I have to say, okay, well, I need to stay off. which then
Yep. I'm losing.
diminish.
Oh,
Oh,
you're kind of breaking up a little bit. So
I saw it go
say the
out
last sentence again.
a little bit.
Yeah. So while okay, are you back?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I'm gonna
Okay.
try to. I'm going to try to log in from my computer just because I think my internet is working better now.
Okay.
So let me
Well,
see if we can switch
but
angles.
while you're doing that, we'll get back to your thought. I just wanted kind of changing, but just another question I hear from people is, well, how come it's only for iPhones? That's no fair. Well, my understanding is it first was developed for iPhones because the actual back-end programming for an Apple app is a lot easier than the Android market. Okay. So, but they are working on it. It's just going to take a while. So that's why, just like you said, if you don't have an iPhone, do you have an iPad? Nowadays, the iPads, are fairly inexpensive. See if you can get an iPad if you really want to get on right now. But I'm hearing that, it will open up to both platforms. But right now, the programming was so much easier for the Apple platform. And I just wanted to say about the invitation only, because this thing has just taken off. It's not that they're trying to exclude people, but if billions of people were able to get on right now, what would happen? The servers would crash.
Yeah.
So right now they're doing it systematically by invitation. And so if you get invitations or if you get on, then you'll probably start getting a few invitations, and then you can share it with other people that you think will use it and benefit from it. So I'm just putting that out there for people in case they're like, well, I don't even have an iPhone. I might, don't give up. And I've watched technology over the last 20 years, not to date me, right? But I have this gut feeling that this is really going to take off because people are starved for human connectivity, especially after this past year that we've been through. So people are starving for that connectivity. And the fact that it's an audio only is easy. You can sit on the couch in your PJs and you can still be involved. You don't have to put the makeup on and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. But I think it's really going to take off. So
no, I project that it's going to have a great effect on but I also could see us humans ruining a great thing. I can see that happening, and that's just my honest opinion. I gotta move it, shift a little bit. That's just my honest opinion, and because for those who are on the app, they have these things called town hall meetings, which is an awesome feature, and everybody's invited and you get an opportunity to hear where the app is going, and then the creators of this app are super open to the users kind of creating a space that they want to use. So but because we're coming into this new situation with old mentalities, right, of Facebook and Instagram, we're going to break it. We're going to try to make it Facebook and Instagram, which it's not. It's a very new, different experience, and it really humanizes social media or social activity. It really gives you a human quality. But if we want to go into it like a Facebook or Instagram, we're going to create a digital platform again. So I love that you gave me the opportunity to share my opinion on the app. And obviously, the power of connection. You know, people are going to watch this and they might go off of what we say, right? And what I would love to put out there is that if you do get on the app, curate an experience that you can enjoy, because that is the basis of what the app was intended to do. It was really for you to be able to connect with people from all over the world on things that make you happy, right? It really was not created for us to break it and make it a business platform.
Right.
So just like any good business invitation, nobody wants to be sold. So don't go on this app starting to sell anything.
Yes.
Start just building these amazing relationships and taking them offline. That's the purpose. So right now, how you could do that is you link your Twitter account or your Instagram account, and you're able to have people message you if they love what you are saying. But that's when the sale kind of happens. If you're using it for business, it will happen in the DMs, or
Right.
if you're going to take them offline. But don't go into this app with the intention of sales pitching and inviting people to your programs and trying to sell them your funneling systems and all that stuff, because they're just going to get turned off by
Right.
you.
Yeah.
You know, they just will unfollow you and no one will ever know. You will never get alerted to say, oh, they stopped following you. Your hallway will just change.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so your experience will alter because you stop following people.
Yeah.
And you don't want to turn people off, because it will be a hard thing to get them back on.
Right. So again, I mean, because I think in analogies, I can't help it. You know, so think about going to like a cocktail party or just a wine fest or something. We've all met those people, and you can just tell their only priority is to see how many people they can sell to, how many people they can pitch to. Well, what happens to those people? Everybody starts avoiding them, because it's like, I don't want to sit and listen to him or her go on for 30 minutes about their business. But if you go to these parties with the idea of just meeting new people and having a new experience, then in your conversation, if something comes up, it's like, you know what, this was really fun. Can we chat again? Then, like you said, then you can exchange the information. If you want to quote unquote sell, then the Instagram, make sure that your Instagram profile looks good and has the information. And if they're interested, they're going to click on it, and then you can go from there. But I mean, I really agree with you. We don't want to. I used to sell real estate, and my broker, she'd use the expression commission breath. She said, don't have commission breath. And
Yeah.
in other words, don't be so anxious for that sale that's all the people can see and hear. And it's the same way with business, right? I mean, we don't want to have this, business sale mentality. We just want to connect with people, because that's the fascinating thing with life, is meeting people and, getting to know them.
Yeah, but I think we have to we have to recondition ourselves to do that, because we've been trapped in Facebook land and Instagram and LinkedIn land for so long, where the only communication that we've had out on, especially to have that kind of talk back situation, has been very, very minute. Unless you're invited, like what we're doing today was an invitation. You said, hey, come talk to me about this.
Yeah.
But to just be able to say, hey, I'm doing this, hasn't been real for a long time.
Right.
So we're really having to retrain our mind to be connecting and not selling, because we've been selling for over a year now on a consistent basis. We don't know how not to. So we have to really train ourselves how to do the opposite, so that we can get the result that we're looking for. So I think we're going to go through this phase in Clubhouse where people are going to try to sell, and then those who are like, I don't want to, just won't show up in their rooms anymore. And then they're going to have to pivot back to reality again. So we're going to go through that little phase where right now we're in sales mode. Everybody's in sales mode and they're pumping out sales. And, you know, I could tell you there's so many, like how to get on Clubhouse, how to be a moderator on Clubhouse, there's so many how-tos on Clubhouse right now, but people have a commonality. As humans, we don't want to be sold and we don't want to be told, right?
Yes.
And when we get into a space where we are getting any of those energies, we are rejecting them. It's like bad. It's like, you know,
bad vibes. Yes.
yeah. So the power of this app is that you get to reject it fast.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you don't want it, you can reject it quickly. You can hear it quickly and reject it quickly. So unlike Facebook or Instagram, where it takes a little bit more time for us to know the intention of the person, this allows us to hear your intention as soon as you open your mouth. We know what you want to do. So
Right.
if you really want to become a master at Clubhouse, you have to know what your intention is so that you can curate an experience that will meet that intent. Because you cannot go into rooms that are meant for conversational purposes and sell, because then you'll get kicked out and like don't want you in there.
Yeah.
And you cannot go into a room that is meant for selling and start giving us your whole life story, because they're going to kick you off the stage. So you really have to go in with a very good plan, an intentional plan for what you want to get out of the space, because there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
But you have to prepare your room.
And I love that. And as you were talking, I was just thinking, because earlier you'd said, you know, it's not just business and it's not just social. So, I mean, you can actually curate like two different genres, so to speak. So if on Friday nights you just want a place to go hang out socially, you know, there's people out there talking and just socializing. Again, because I'm all about systems, what I would do so I don't go down the rabbit hole is if I'm doing it for business, I have a set time that I do it. It's on my calendar, and this is Clubhouse networking time or speaking or whatever. If I'm doing it socially, you know, 9:00 sitting on the couch at night, that's my social time. But like you said, you really have to come up with a plan so that, you know, you don't go down that hole and never come back.
Yeah. And it's so easy to get down the hole because all of the conversations are good. I mean, there's just good stuff. You can really fan out in there, if you know, because you can follow, like, man, Damian John's on this app, Grant Cardone's on this app. There's like Tiffany Haddish is on the app, like, and you get to speak to these people, like conversation, like you're in a room with them and you actually get to talk to them. So it's easy to fan out, right? Oh my God, I'm such a fan. It's so easy to do that. But
Yeah.
you really have to think about it. And the one way that I've kind of just leveled myself in this, because I had my fangirl moment, I got to say, I was a fangirl a couple times in the room, like, oh my God. But then I got fearful because I didn't want to raise my hand in this big room with Grant Cardone and sound like an idiot, you know, that kind of thing. But I think we have to realize that this is the equalizer. Everybody is the same on this app. There is no high level. There is no low level. We all are the same, and we all have the same opportunity on this app, because although they're open in the room, you could open one too. You have a voice that you could share your message, and if people like what you're saying, they will come back. So it's easy to fan out, but you have to stop thinking like a fan and get in the game, right? Got to be a player on the field. And if you are going to play on this field, you have to know that there are no levels. Everybody's the same, and we all have the same opportunity to be heard on this app. And that is why I'm a fan of Clubhouse, because it gives everybody an opportunity to be heard.
I love that.
and in this, my situation that I'm doing 3 times a week. So we are on here. The group is called Connecting Women Entrepreneurs. It happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So if you are on the app, you can follow us. But the one thing I love about that room is that we do listen and we get an opportunity to hear from women all over the place. And make these valuable connections. Like, man, Deb, if you were in the space, I'd be able to say, oh my God, Debbie's here and I see her and she's amazing. She does this mind mapping wizard thing and I love it. And I just want to tell everybody to go and visit her. So you have an opportunity to get advocacy, which is
Yeah.
way more important than a sale, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely. And
because yeah, go ahead.
okay, I was just going to say, in case people are listening, uh, we'll put in the comments the rooms that you're hosting and the times and all of that kind of stuff. And then it just popped in my head, just a quick little system hack. If you find a room, especially if it's on a schedule, then put it on your calendar. That's what I'm going to do. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to put one of your times on my calendar. So then I know it's like an appointment. I'm going to drop in on your room and have a listen and maybe have a share. So that would be one way to manage your time with Clubhouse.
And they actually have a calendar in the app. So you can schedule out your rooms. And if you find a room that in that calendar system that you like, it's so easy. You don't even have to go and like put it in your calendar manually. There's a little button that you push. It says add to your calendar and it adds it.
Oh, nice.
It
Nice.
just does it for you.
Good.
So you
So
don't
that's
have to worry about it. So
okay.
if you I love the scheduled rooms, right? For me, because what you're saying, I can't spend my whole day and night on Clubhouse. I mean, I could, but I wouldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
I'd just be like,
Yeah.
my business would be Clubhouse. And I
Yeah.
don't want that because Clubhouse don't pay me. Right? I
Right.
gotta do what pays me. But I love that I could go in there and I can look on the schedule and find topics that are, you know, interesting to me, and I could put them on my calendar and say I want to listen to that, so it will remind me. And the other thing that you could do, say you find a person that you like and you're just like, man, I followed her into a couple rooms already and every time she never disappoints. You could follow the person and then put your bell on so that every time they go into a room, you're notified that they are somewhere,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
a good tip. Yeah.
So it's a good way to like track your following so you're not going down the rabbit hole because you know, hey, I want to listen to Talisha. So I'm notified when she's on. I'm notified when she's speaking. I'm notified when she's even listening. Because even though I hear her voice, she takes me into rooms that are good quality listens, you know?
Mhm.
So that's another thing, not only to go and participate for speaking, participate for listening too, because there's some rooms that offer you some great listens, just things. They do performances in here. Like my first week on, they were putting on The Lion King. They did The Lion King.
Yes.
Yeah. And Dream Girls they're doing. So there's like Broadway shows happening in this app. It's
Oh my goodness.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. Something never be seen before. There's just so many things that are it's literally the real world, as real as we could get right now
Yeah.
in this app.
Yeah.
So I'm just adoring it. But you know, I do love my hometown. I like to stay in home sometimes, so I don't go in there very often. But I do when I go in there, I do schedule out some time to spend it in that
Yeah.
app.
That's great. Well, you have given us so much valuable information. Thank you. And we'll connect again maybe in a few weeks, and we can analyze my progress, see how well I've done. And I'm definitely going to follow you and get into some of your rooms. And then if people are watching this on replay, if they have specific questions, they can tag you or tag me, whatever, and we'll go from there. Any excuse me, any, I guess, parting words or tips before we end this segment?
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the major questions people ask about Clubhouse is how to curate a good bio. So
Oh,
that is something that people always want to know. There are so many rooms on teaching you how to make a bio for Clubhouse. And the one thing I could tell you that will really enhance your experience in Clubhouse is to the first 3 lines of your bio is like prime real estate. So whatever you put in there, make sure it states your intention, what you want to get out of here. So mine really it says I am a live stream series host because I do small talk. I am a public speaker because I speak a lot, and I'm a networking strategist. Those are the things that I do. So if you have any opportunities within those 3 areas, I want them. That's what my intention is in here, right? But listing your intentions within that first 3 lines is super, super important. So don't waste that space going into a storyline of my name is and I grew up on it, because we won't get to know your intention. A lot of people don't open your full bio. They
okay.
just tap on it, read those first 3 lines, and then if those first 3 lines are captivating, then I will open the whole thing to read it. But a lot of people aren't reading the whole story. So
Yeah.
make sure your headliners are very captivating and
Okay.
state your intent.
That's excellent. Great tip. So we'll all do that. Maybe I'll do a little training segment in the group sometime to help people with that. Awesome.
Yeah, that's something that if you have a really good one and you can duplicate it, definitely assure training on it, because that is the number one question in Clubhouse is what should I put on my bio?
Yeah.
And it's the number one question. So if you can
Okay.
answer that question for your tribe, sure, do that.
Okay, that's great. Okay, well, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, and I've got work to do. I have another meeting coming up, but I can't wait to jump in on Clubhouse again, especially on your sessions. So again, we'll put it in the comments when we get done here. Make sure that you do that, and then we'll talk again at another time.
Oh, it's always fun, Debbie. It's always fun. And we survived the technical difficulties. I just want to say we did. We did a great job managing that. So we know what we're doing. So follow us on Clubhouse because we know what we're doing.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll
Thank
talk.
you.
All righty.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.